So
Awesome. All
Yep.
right. What
Or the
about this next
sponsors.
game there, Kyle?
yeah, need sponsors, right? So yeah, then the
Oh yeah.
Oklahoma LSU game. I mean,
Yeah,
God,
that was a heartbreaker.
yeah, what
For
a
me, it
defense!
was. Yeah.
What a defensive battle that ended up being. I thought there was going to be a little bit higher scoring than what happened. You know, the 17-13 game. I really thought Oklahoma and LSU would score more in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I
Oh
thought
yeah.
LSU. I mean, I thought Oklahoma has a really good defense, and I think they showed it there. And I mean, hey, watching LSU play all offense this year has been a struggle all year. I mean, it's like, okay, game's on the line. Y'all have a chance here. Go make some plays on offense, and they just couldn't do it. I think Oklahoma did a really good job of forcing some turnovers in this game, really kind of changing the narrative in their favor. And yeah, this Oklahoma team's got a really good defense. I think offense, they're still struggling. Ever since John Mateer got hurt, I think they've been really struggling offensively. But they're a team that's going to get in the playoffs probably, and they'll have a first round matchup that could be a bye or not a bye. It could be a home game, could not be. I think right now, shoot, sitting at 8, they would probably have someone like Notre Dame or something, or actually, yeah, someone like Notre Dame. So really interesting matchup there. But yeah, LSU's offense, man. Oof. What did you think, Kyle?
Yeah, man. They had the lead. I forgot what even happened. No,
They
no.
had it.
Okay, no, Garrett. Garrett, no, no, no. Me and Garrett were sitting at a bar and grill. We were sitting there watching the game, and this man, they catch a pick, right? Or I think they caught a pick against Oklahoma. I think that's what it was, right, Garrett?
I think they
LSU
did.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they caught the pick, right? The very first play, LSU runs out there for the offense. We're like, oh, yeah, they're going to go out there and score. They're right at the goal line. No, this quarterback for LSU throws a pick instead of running it in. Just run it
Yeah,
in. He had the edge,
I
but
remember
instead he
that.
just
Yeah.
threw it. And we were like, what are you doing? Even the
Yeah, a
announcers
lot
go
of
back and
turnovers
look
in
at the
this
play.
game.
And we were like, just tuck the ball and run it in. The quarterback had a perfect
Yeah.
lane if he would have just ran for the corner of the end
Oh
zone.
yeah.
But
Oh,
he
yeah.
was just too
A
scared,
lot of
and he threw a
turnovers.
pick right at the very beginning. It really made me mad. That was
Mhm.
that was such an easy. Heck, Garrett, you would have even scored on that. Like that is such a simple, just run, dude. All
Yeah.
you're doing is running.
Exactly.
It's just, it
Exactly.
was just an unexperienced quarterback, really, because you had to step in for Garrett Nesmeyer, which they say he has an injury right now, but I don't know what's going on with Garrett Nesmeyer. But just a very unexperienced quarterback, really, to have him jump in. But he did it was just so many turnovers. You can't say he did a decent job for only his third week or second week playing a full game. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what else to say. LSU, that was a heartbreaker, really. I thought they were for sure going to pull it off. The very end, I want to say Oklahoma just broke one, or something happened that was crazy. I said, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, it was just LSU was close, man. They played a decent game, but yeah, too many mistakes, sloppy football, in my opinion. But all
Yeah.
right, let's go ahead and
So,
jump to this Bama Auburn game that happened. Oh, talk about another upsetting game there. I mean, I was pulling for Auburn 100%. So this was
Iron
definitely
Bowl.
yeah,
upsetting.
yeah.
Go
That
ahead, Kyle or
that was a
Dave.
yeah,
close
the
one.
Iron Bowl. Yeah. Yeah, the Bama survives. Man, that is one. Like Saban says, that's a crazy place to play. I think I for sure it was a night game. It was at 6:30. It's a
Oh
crazy
yeah,
place to play at night. He was like, "Yeah, that is not the place you want to play
At
at
night,
night.
no.
It's one scary place. You already
yeah,
know it's
especially
scary
when
when
the
you got an
whole
eagle flying in the middle of the field, basically landing. That's some
yeah,
crazy stuff happening.
especially when your whole playoff hopes are freaking relying on you to beat Auburn on the road at
Yeah,
a night game. Yeah, that was a tough place to play.
I don't
But
know.
yeah, I
It's
mean, I
just
was go
go
ahead.
for it, Garrett.
Well, I mean, I was just gonna say about this game. I mean, watching the game, Alabama jumped up to a pretty big or pretty good amount. Or they were in control of this game to start this game, and they were in a lead for almost the whole game. And then Auburn seemed to kind of bounce back. They made some plays on defense. They had a chance, man. I think they had a chance to drive down the field and score, but they just couldn't do it offensively. I think it was very it's like pulling for some of these upsets, and you're like, all right, all the offense has to do is go down and score, but they haven't played good all year, and it's just it's hard to watch sometimes. And I think the biggest thing that hurt Auburn, Dad, I think we talked about this is man, that receiving core from Auburn couldn't catch a cold on Saturday night, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's the most
Hey, well-
drops I think I've seen in a college game in a long time.
Hey, there's a reason they're 1-6 in the freaking SEC.
Yeah, but
Man. And they've
there's-
had some close games. They've had
there's-
some really close games this year that they could have won, but
Yeah.
man.
But that's what you say about Arkansas or
Yeah.
South Carolina, though.
Yeah, that's true. They've had a lot of close games. They just can't pull it out, man.
Right.
What, South Carolina has one of the biggest. God, they choked, didn't they, against A&M? Was it them that was or what was leading A&M?
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
That had
Yeah,
to have been the
exactly.
worst for the SEC all year, probably. That had to have been the worst.
Had to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And then-
hey, hats off to
Yeah.
Alabama though. The Alabama's playing a little bit better. I think Alabama's playing decent. You know, it's going to be interesting to see what they do in this SEC championship game this week against Georgia, because I think Georgia's rolling and Alabama's kind of still. You know, they're a little inconsistent considering how well they played against Georgia the first time this year and took care of business from
All
Alabama.
right, well,
so.
jumping into another team that choked. Let's talk about this Texas A&M game.
Hey. All I'm saying is we called it. We called it.
Garrett, I like how we're both wearing different teams and we're just throwing up hook'em.
Ain't
Yeah.
nothing wrong with room for multiple teams in
Got-
college football.
Hey,
Wait,
I'm
where
wearing
is it?
two
Oh,
teams
it's on this
actually.
side. There it is.
I'm wearing Texas Tech and I'm wearing LSU.
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah, see, this is even
Yeah.
worse. That guy's
Yeah.
even worse. These my teams aren't in the same conference.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about this with Mr. Butler this morning, and you know, in that second half, Texas attacked where I thought, you know, A&M was a little weak on the defense, and that was with the run. A lot of teams have ran against A&M, and I think that's their Achilles heel, is that, you know, their run defense is still a little susceptible, but I still think it's good. And I still think A&M has a shot if they put it together. So I
Has
mean,
a shot.
has
Yeah.
a shot in the playoffs
Yes.
to get. I mean, deep in the play. I'm even thinking the national championship game. When I look at the teams that are out there, I mean, the only one I'd be, well, not the only one, but if you had to meet a Georgia in the second round, or if you had to meet an Ohio State, I still think A&M could beat. You know, we'll talk about that a little more, but I still think A&M could beat most of the other teams out of the Big Ten,
Yeah.
like Oregon, even Indiana. But I'd be.
We'll jump in that in a little way.
Yeah, we'll
For
talk
sure.
about that. But
Oh, yeah.
I just want to say that my point is that A&M's Achilles heel is probably their run defense, if anything, and Texas took advantage of that in the second half.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they could be like Michigan last year, possibly, to say, well, at least they beat the national champs, you know, last year. And
Yeah. That is
but
true.
but who has the bigger ring? I guess is what really matters.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, like I said last week, and I said it all week. You know, it's just like this. This isn't the worst case scenario for Texas A&M. This actually probably helps them, and I think in the long run, they don't have to play an SEC championship game, which that's another week. They get to get fresh. They get some injuries, you know, stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
regroup
Right.
a little bit. Plus, they'll probably have a home game to start the playoffs, so they're going to be in Kyle Field to play the first round of the playoffs. They're going to be electric. They're going to be firing on all four cylinders. I mean, they had the possibility of that, you know. And I mean, yeah, I always compare to Ohio State last year. We saw it. Ohio State didn't make the Big Ten championship. They came out the first week. Everyone thought they didn't have a chance, and then they came and blow the doors on Tennessee, and then ran through the rest of the playoffs. And A&M definitely has that possibility of doing it again. But hey, hats off to the Longhorns, man. I think that was one of the best performances
Oh, yeah.
they had all year. That team, in my opinion, could compete with a lot of the teams that is going to make the playoffs. I just don't think there's a chance they'll get in.
right.
I would still love the committee to compare Texas to Miami and Notre Dame because I think their resumes are all very similar. But, you know, Texas did slip up a few games, so I can understand where they're coming from. But this Texas team, I think, can compete with anyone.
Yeah, I agree.
Kai, got anything to add?
Well, we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah.
All right. So jumping in the helmet stickers, players of the week, really? Yeah, nah. Well, it just shows it here on the graphic. Really, like the offensive player of the week. I picked him because they did upset SMU, which I thought SMU was for sure going to go in and take care of business and hopefully make it that. What they would have made it to the ACC championship, I'm guessing, right there, and they would have played.
Yeah,
Who
with
is
the
it,
win, they would
Virginia?
have made it in. Yeah,
Is
they
it
would play
Virginia that made
and had
it?
a chance.
Now,
Yeah.
now I want Kyle to say his name.
Is it J-Ron or J-Ron Cooey?
Kiwi and Sagapalute.
Sagapalute.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a freshman, all right. God dang.
Yeah, but
That's one hard name.
And he's only a freshman. That's a key. But if he can keep showing that, I don't think he'll stay in Cal. But we'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see.
Hey, and don't look at the jersey number. It's not right. That's his practice jersey.
Hey, man, I'll tell you what. That was probably one of the most upsetting freaking games to watch all weekend for me. Was watching SMU lose to Cal. I thought SMU had it in the bag for sure. They came out very sloppy. Cal took a big lead. SMU tried to bounce back, but yeah, like you said, this quarterback played an absolute great game, and he took care of business offensively for Cal. And SMU took the lead at one point. I think it was SMU took the lead at one point, and then this quarterback goes down the field, leads them to the game-winning drive, and so there goes SMU season. So now we'll only see hopefully 3 Texas teams in the playoffs. So tough one.
Yeah, that
for sure.
The true upset. So sorry, Garrett, I'm covering you up there, but trying to get you.
All right, G, you want to lead us with the next one for the defensive player of the week?
Defensive player of the week, we got Dylan Steinman Jr., Oklahoma defensive back. Yeah, Oregon had a big game against Washington. Washington was hoping to pull off the upset over Oregon. He ended up leading the team with he had 7 total tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss, and an interception in this game. I think big-time players make big-time plays in big moments. So hats off to Dylan here. Great game. I think this Oregon defense overall is kind of underrated. A lot of people don't talk about Oregon's defense enough, but Oregon actually has a really good defense this year, and they've held teams to a very low amount of points, especially when you look across the board, against who they played. And so he's one of the leaders on this Oregon team, and yeah, making big plays. So hats off to him. Kyle, you got anything to add, man?
Yeah, no, this Oregon team might be rolling. Their defensively, they look pretty good. I don't know. It's just wait for the playoffs, right? Or
it's like they got a very complete team. I think overall, it's just how does the Oregon and Indiana's compare to other teams like Georgia's and Oklahoma's and Alabama's, A&M. So we'll see. Big Ten, SEC, playoff times coming around the corner. Anyways, I'm getting excited. I was getting excited there.
Well, don't we have like 2 weeks anyways in between?
Yeah, I think there's a couple weeks in between. Yeah, because it'll be this weekend, and then I think the Army-Navy game, and then I don't believe the first round's till like the 19th, 20th, I believe.
Okay, yeah. All right, ready to jump into the next one? We got
Watch. Not really, but okay.
We're not really ready, but we're ready.
But if you so insist, so all right.
Hey, I've noticed the name's not on here anymore.
That what?
I noticed the name after last week. There's a name that's not on here anymore, huh?
Okay, well let's go.
A new name.
I'm not sure.
Let me get that one up.
There's a new name on there, G, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, let's get that one up.
Because you told me somebody to add. Yeah, you told me somebody to add.
About time.
Yeah. Hopefully people at home can see this. I know there's a lot of writing, small writing and stuff on here.
Yeah. But man, it looks
But yeah,
good,
the graphics. Yeah, the graphics explain itself really, like showing like who actually put up some good numbers. I moved Fernando Martinez down because his completion rate was horrible against a horrible team. I feel like he should have his completion rate should have been a lot better. A lot better, I think. He only had a 53.3 completion rate, which I didn't think was that good at all. Really looking back at it, because Garrett even said was like, Purdue's not that good, man. Like, I'm sorry, but
Big Ten, actually.
yeah, I feel like these teams, you got to rack up your stats. Like, you got to have a good stats at least. Like, no picks, no costly, like, especially at the end of the year when you're running for a Heisman candidate. You got to look at it. Like, look at Julian Satan. He had 73.1 completion rate. He might not have crazy yards, but his completion rate was still phenomenal, I think, going into the last week, especially rival week, especially against a good Michigan team, really. is to look at it like that. And then Jeremiah Love, I know he didn't play. I feel like God, they played Stanford, I want to say, and I believe that they killed them. Well, Stanford put up
They
at
did.
least, I think it was 20-something points against them, which I thought was pretty good for Stanford to put up that many points against them. But
Yeah,
Jordan
they
Love,
handled
they
it.
probably rested Jordan Love this game, definitely. I feel like he only had 66 yards. So I feel like they definitely didn't want to use him too much. But yeah, I definitely put Jeremiah Love because his full stats, like overall season, has been doing phenomenal, really. He's crazy good. And then Diego Pavier, you can't leave this man out of the picture, man. He is a dog. Like, he's always fired up. Like, look how much yards he put up against Tennessee. He put up 165 rushing yards and 1 touchdown, which I thought was phenomenal. For a quarterback, is crazy. Gary, you want anything you want to add about Diego Pavier?
Oh, I mean, it's just Diego Pavia. I think he's played really good all year and really consistent. I just think when it comes to a Heisman player, I think he makes a huge difference on this Vanderbilt team. This Vanderbilt team was absolutely nothing 2 years ago. He comes in the program. They get some big wins last year, and then this year they only lose 2 games, and that's to Texas and Alabama, who I think are 2 really good football programs. So getting wins in Vandy, Mizzou, I think they even beat Oklahoma. No, they didn't. But I think he's done a really great job, and I think he has a strong case for making himself as a Heisman player. And there's a lot of these other ones that I think it's going to be very tough to decide the Heisman this year. I'll just say that. I'll add a little bit, but you can keep going.
Oh yeah, and then we got Jacob Rodriguez. They played a great, crazy game this week, right? Or last week. Yeah, no, they had not much of a matchup, I felt like. Yeah, Jacob Rodriguez went out there. He only had 4 tackles. Okay, it's not much against a horrible team, I feel like. But I was just saying, it's not great stats, but they still went there and took care of business. It wasn't like they like lost or they kept it close or anything. This defense definitely came out and played, and there's a big reason to it. It's Jacob Rodriguez. Jacob Rodriguez is a huge captain on that team, and he's making everybody else around him a lot better on this defense, I feel like. He's a phenomenal athlete, one heck of a captain to have on your team, I feel like. And then, the next one, Garrett, we could definitely both talk about him, but Ty Simpson, he's a great quarterback. I feel like I want to say he's young still. He's still a young quarterback, I feel like. I don't know what grade he's in or not. He might not be in a young
He's
grade.
been around for a while. He just didn't play as much because he was behind, the other quarterbacks that they had there a little bit.
But he's doing a great job taking the reins over there in Bama. I feel like, and he's doing I'm just ready to watch him play in the playoffs, really. Definitely ready to watch him. But I want to say they do the Heisman. Do they do it right before bowl games, or how do they do it again?
They'll do it. Yeah, they'll do it before the first round. Because I believe, they'll have an Army-Navy game, and then they'll have an award ceremony, and then they'll start the playoffs that next weekend.
Okay. Because I swore somebody said that the championships for conference championship wouldn't matter to the candidates, and I was like, is that right or no?
But no, it definitely matters. It takes.
Then it definitely it screws over 2 players on here at least.
Yeah, at least
Diego and Notre Dame. Notre Dame, I don't think they don't play a game.
Oh,
They're independent.
I mean,
what I was going to say, the player that I think has made a big push here is Love. I mean, Jeremiah Love. I mean, you talked about him a little bit already, but man, he's really came on strong. I mean, he's the real deal, and I think now that you got a running back in the mix and possibly a defensive player, that's going to diversify this group a little bit, where it's not just quarterbacks, and there's going to be some hard choices to make by the college writers. So these editors and all that these sports editors that have a vote, it's going to be tough. And I think Jeremiah Love, though, it's usually, you'll see, the players that make it to New York are the ones that really make a good push towards the end of the season. I think Jeremiah Love's going to be in that mix and be going to New York.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would add to that is, I agree 100%. Like watching ESPN and Game Day and all that, Jeremiah Love is a big favorite. I think Jeremiah Love is going to have a really good chance and a really good case on why he needs to get to New York, and I think he'll be on the ballot and everything. I don't know if he'll be able to win it coming from a running back, but I think he makes a huge difference on this Notre Dame team. Just like Diego Pavia, I think Diego Pavia has got a really good chance of making it to New York, getting on the ballot and everything.
Right.
Jacob Rodriguez, as a defensive player, I think he's had an outstanding year on a great defensive team. Super phenomenal player. I don't know if he's going to have a chance to get on that ballot or not this year, but I think he's one of the best players on Texas Tech's defense and one of the best players in the country for sure, and especially making a huge difference on that Texas Tech team. But hey, hats off to Julian Sayin, though, man. They finally beat Michigan. Yeah, his numbers weren't crazy, but he played a really good, consistent football game for this Ohio State team so they can get the dub over Michigan finally. Go Buckeyes.
Julian Sayin, just
Michigan,
saying.
So. Hey, Julian Sayin, yeah. He's had a really good, consistent year.
Yeah,
I would love to see him making it on the ballot. I don't even know if he's the best player on – like Desmond Howard always says on game day, it's like, I don't even know if he's the best player on that team right now because considering Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, but hell, consistently and leading this offense and being there's a lot of pressure when you're the Ohio State quarterback. So hats off to him on that excellent year. And so we'll see how he plays against Indiana this week. I think that'll be a big determining factor of him or Fernando Mendoza, who kind of has the upper edge on the Heisman voting for sure.
All right. Y'all ready to jump in the playoff pictures?
Yeah, this is one of my favorites.
I can sit here and talk about this all day, but I don't know scenarios like Garrett might know them. Like I don't know them because I didn't put those in the scenario wise. But I just don't know how that works really. It's just like okay. So looking at this picture now for everybody out there watching this, it is not in ranking like playoff rankings. This is not the rankings for it. These are just the percentages of getting in and not getting in. So the main question I want to talk about here. So we know who the 4 seeds are. So we got Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia, and Texas Tech, I believe, are in the top 4 in those 4 spots.
Yes.
So say Ohio State or Indiana lose, or like one of them's going to have to lose. So would you take one of them off the top 4, or would you keep them both in?
So here's my opinion on it, give or take. I think if Ohio State loses, Ohio State will still stay in the top 4 just because the season they've had and everything. If Indiana loses, though, that kind of brings up the question is, okay, if Indiana lose, they could possibly jump back to 5, but then I don't think Oregon would jump them just because they had the head-to-head over Oregon. So I think Ohio State and Indiana are pretty much going to be guaranteed in the Final 4. Okay. But that also kind of depends on how the game is. If Ohio State comes in and completely dominates Indiana, then in my opinion, they should drop out of the top 4, and then you would have like an Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech, and then maybe even someone like Ole Miss could possibly, in my opinion, deserve it more than a team like Oregon who's lost to Indiana already in the year. But, and, I think one of the biggest things that, because I watched the College Football Playoff Committee on Tuesday, and one of the biggest questions they had is like, because a lot of these teams aren't playing anymore, it's just a conference championship. So will these teams still have a possibility of moving even though their season's over? And the guy said, yeah, there's still a possibility that some of these teams can move around. And so the big question to me is, okay, we got Notre Dame right now is in the playoffs, but depending on how this conference championship week goes, can some of these someone like Miami, who's beaten Notre Dame head to head, could they possibly get that last spot over Notre Dame? And then one of the really interesting things I think is if Texas Tech loses to BYU this week, BYU is probably in the playoffs, and I don't think Texas Tech is going to miss the playoffs. So then that knocks out another team from the playoffs because Texas Tech would get the at-large bid, and I think someone like Notre Dame would be really, really affected by that. There was also a few other really interesting scenarios, like if JMU. So one of the biggest ones is if Virginia loses to Duke this week, Duke's a 6-5 team as a conference champion, where JMU is an undefeated conference champion they have one loss, but they're undefeated in conference. They would be a conference champion, and if they're ranked higher than Duke, JMU gets in, and the ACC gets no teams in the playoffs, which would be pretty interesting. That would be a very interesting call from the committee, because especially when you look at someone like JMU, could they compete against teams like teams like Miami and Virginia and all that? The playoff committee is going to have to make some big decisions. If Alabama loses, I still think Alabama gets in. But if Alabama gets drugged by Georgia, that also brings the question, does Alabama deserve to get in over a team like Texas or Notre Dame or Miami, So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I think a lot of these teams are locked in, like Texas. I think, almost all the 99% teams are locked in. I think Alabama, there still is a chance they don't get in if they get blown out by Georgia,
Yeah, if they, But that'll take them to 3 losses. So do you take and put
It'll
in
take
a
them to
3
three losses,
loss
but
team?
then it's also like Georgia lost to Alabama in the regular season. Do you take that more, or what holds more
Right.
value? And I think the big thing that the committee wanted us to know as fans is like, if you play in the conference championship game, you're playing an extra game. You shouldn't be penalized for playing that extra game, competing for a championship. So there's like teams like
Right.
Alabama, Texas Tech. I don't think will get penalized for losing if they did.
Yeah.
Does
Okay,
that make
yeah.
sense, Kyle?
Yeah, no. So like the other things I like jumping back to is scenarios. So like, say if Alabama did beat Georgia, who do you think will move up to the what are they ranked 3? They're in the 3rd spot right now. So
Three.
like, say like that happens, or you got the other scenario. So wait, who else is it? So yeah, BYU beats Texas Tech. Who would fill their spot basically in the final in those 4
I
positions
think
and the buys?
it's
Would
if
you
stuff
move
like
eight?
that happened. I think Ohio State and Indiana would stay in the top 4.
Yes.
And then I think a team. I think whoever wins the SEC probably will get a first round bye, even if it. Oh, I don't know if Alabama would actually.
I was like, do you
But
think
then I think a
A&M
team
could
like
bump them
Oregon,
or no?
A&M does have a possibility because a team like Oregon could move up. Ole Miss, I would think, would a team that deserves a first round bye because I think they've only got like 1 loss this year. So Oklahoma, I don't think will have a chance at a first round bye. Neither would like a team like Notre Dame or Alabama, even if they win. But who'd you say?
Oh, like Texas Tech and
Who-
BYU, because Texas Tech is in that 4th spot, and then Georgia's in that
Yeah.
3rd. But would A&M somehow? But you can only pick one because
Yeah, I
it's
think
only
there's
one
still a
SEC,
chance for
right?
A&M to get a first round bye. Huh?
Okay, but it's all
No,
whoever
I
wins
mean,
the
like,
championships get the bye, right? Or does it not work like that?
no, it's just whoever's ranked the top 4. Because we could see Ohio
Okay.
State, Indiana, and Oregon all from the Big Ten get first round buys this playoff select. With this playoff selection, if teams like Georgia loses, so which I
Okay.
think would be
Yeah,
very interesting.
Yeah, that makes great sense. Like just saying all the other scenarios are just crazy. So if North Texas beats Tulane, you'd think North Texas automatically they would get that
Yeah.
bid, right? Where they'll be in.
Yeah, judging
No matter-
from how the playoff committee is viewing it, I think North Texas or Tulane, whoever wins this game is automatic or is going to get in. And then it just comes down to
Okay.
between JMU and Virginia fighting for that last conference championship spot. But I think the way the committee is viewing it right now, they think the American is better than the Sun Belt. So either North Texas or Tulane is definitely going to get in, and then it's just in between JMU and Virginia. Because if Virginia loses, I think JMU's in. If Virginia wins, I think Virginia gets in over JMU.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions out there? Anybody commenting about?
Anybody
what
got
else
any
you need to know?
questions?
We
Does
did have
anybody
another
need to know
comment.
anything?
Going back
about-
to the Heisman, we had somebody comment, do you guys think Jeremiah Love or Diego Pava has a better chance of winning? And I put Love. I think Love does.
I
right
personally
Love.
think Diego Pavier has a better
Yeah.
chance just because he's a quarterback, and I think he makes a bigger difference on that team.
now. Yeah.
Plus, in the beginning of the season, when Notre Dame played its biggest games, Jeremiah Love did not have a great game against Miami or A&M, I don't believe. So
Right.
Okay.
Right. So,
I'm just
You're right.
saying.
I was
I'm
going to
just
argue
hating on
with you.
Notre
I'll
Dame right
say
now. I'm just salty on Notre
Notre
Dame
Dame-
just because they haven't played anyone all that great. I mean, I think their next
Oh,
best team besides losing to A&M in Miami was USC, and I don't even know if USC is all that good. Anyways,
yeah. Well, I would say that, not saying who gets in, but who goes on, to move on and see has a better chance of winning the whole thing. I mean, obviously Ohio State, right? But I really think it's an SEC team after that, either A&M, Georgia, or Alabama, that has a better chance. Notre Dame is still a good team, and I think, Garrett, you might disagree with me on this, but I think Notre Dame is still a team that can, make noise in the playoffs if they get in. And I think they will get in, and I think they'll be a tough team to be reckoned with. But I really think it comes down to like Ohio State, Georgia, and A&M, because Ole Miss maybe because they're a good SEC team, but with the coaching and issues that's going on right now, Lane Kiffin moving to LSU. I don't think that team's going to be the same.
You know,
You're happy to get him. I don't know. We'll see. He's had a kind of a unusual track record. Yeah.
Hey,
hey, I
they
will say
they
that.
off
Oh, go ahead, Kyle.
Chad Ochocinco. Hey, they're talking about him coming over to coach the wide receivers at LSU.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
I think it was
really?
him. I might be wrong. I think that's what they said.
Yes, sir.
Hey, to piggyback that, I will say Notre Dame. I'm hating on their resume for getting in the playoffs, but like we saw last year, I think Notre Dame does have a good football team. I think they'll be very competitive against a lot of these teams in the playoffs. You know, especially if they get someone like Oklahoma first round or something. I think that would be a very interesting matchup.
Yeah.
But yeah, to piggyback on what you said, I think Ohio State's the team to beat 100%. I think they got the most complete team in college football by far. But, you know, if they slip up, I think a team like Georgia is a dangerous team. I wouldn't want to play Georgia.
Yeah,
Georgia's
no,
looking
not
good.
right now.
Ole Miss was having a really, Ole Miss, the second half of the season's looked really good. Their schedule's been a
Yes.
little bit more favorable. They played a little bit of easier teams in the SEC. But now with Lane Kiffin gone, and they're going through changes right now,
Right,
and they
well,
don't really know
They beat
what's
a
going on. But they hired their I think it's their defense coordinator as their head coach. So it's at least someone inside the facility that already knows the culture and everything. But
well. You're right about Ole
it
Miss,
could be a
though.
scary team.
You know, they beat a good Oklahoma team who was looking good. You know, and Oklahoma goes in after that, beats Alabama, and Oklahoma hasn't looked back since. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ole
but
Miss is right there. I think it's going to be an SEC or you know
Hey, but man,
Ohio
don't sleep
State.
on Texas Tech.
Yeah,
You're
so.
sleeping on Texas Tech, but I think Texas Tech's got the team to do it this year. They can
hey,
compete with they
They're
can compete with everyone, but the
Right.
only two teams I think is Ohio
Yeah.
State and Georgia. They would have a hard time with Ohio State.
Red.
But everyone else, I
they're
think they can compete.
right. I'm sorry, I'm stepping on you. Their red
No, go
zone
for it.
offense is what's going to hurt Texas Tech. I mean, just bottom line, they got a great defense, but they don't have that red zone offense that will take it, you know, and score with consistency when they get there. And they can move up and down the field between the 20s, but they can't punch it in consistently in the end zone. So that's the reason why, you know, I'm not hating on Tech. I just think their chances are slim to get out of the well, if they're a bye, they'll already be in the second round. But if they were just playing in the first round, they'll still have a tough time getting out. But I still think they make it to the second round, depending on who they get, if they're not in a bye.
they're gonna make it to that third round.
Yeah,
Texas Tech is back.
but and the only way I think
Looks
like a
good.
North Texas gets in, they have to blow out Tulane like they did with Navy for North Texas to even make show. And it depends on what James Madison does too. And so we'll see. It's going to be a lot of fun this weekend. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll finally get a lot of answers after everything, because I believe the playoff committee is going to make their decisions the Sunday after all these championship games on Saturday. So it'll be interesting to see what they choose to do.
That's
All
right.
right, y'all ready to jump to the next
Let's go to North
segment?
Texas.
Because we could talk about the playoff
Yeah.
picture all day.
All
but
day, right,
let's
yeah.
go.
Let's see for this championship weekend what we got. Upset alert.
We got upsets. Yeah.
You got upsets. What? You got an upset alert for us, Kyle? Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. We're jumping straight into
Yeah, go
this.
ahead,
Yeah.
Kyle, give it
So
to
the
us.
first one we got is definitely. I feel like Tulane's been favored. I know it's not on paper; they're not favored to win this. North Texas is, but Tulane has been favored in the past couple of weeks for the playoffs. They think Tulane is just a lot better than everybody else in that conference, and I don't believe that. I think North Texas is a lot better team, and I feel like this is going to be a huge upset because Tulane is ranked 20 and North Texas is ranked 24th, and I feel like they've been just giving Tulane way too much credit. I think they're definitely way overrated. I feel like I think North Texas is the biggest underdogs in this whole story, and I feel like that Notre Dame is going to make a huge statement, and they're going to prove everybody wrong and give the committee some great questions in this following week. But I definitely North Texas is a young quarterback, which I think he's going to pull off this huge upset.
Yeah, to piggyback off that, man, I mean, we've been hyping up North Texas all year. We love North Texas. I like North Texas. I think both of y'all do. We're pulling for North Texas.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think I'm kind of confused on why the playoff committee and why I think ESPN in general is hyping up Tulane more than North Texas, because I think North Texas is probably one of the most offensively one of the best offenses in the country. They have the best passing yards, best I think overall offense, and some of the best stats out of anyone in the country. But yeah, I love North Texas in this. I don't know. I wouldn't consider this as an underdog to me because I think North Texas is the better team. But I also will give a lot of credit to Tulane. I think Tulane's got a really good team, and they've really improved ever since they lost, I think, to UTSA, 3 or 4 weeks back. And they've been playing really good ever since then. I think they beat South Florida or Memphis, one of the two. Dang, I don't even remember. But, yeah, I just think this American Conference is better than a lot of these other non-Power 4 conferences. Just because if you look at someone like South Florida, North Texas, Tulane, Navy, Memphis, I think these are all really solid football teams. And the fact that North Texas only got one loss in the American and now they got a chance to play for the championship and get into the playoffs, I think there's a very good possibility that they can get the job done this week. So yeah, I'm pulling for them. What are you going to add, Dad?
No, I mean, North Texas has the offense. Do they have the defense? Kind of reminds you of the older Texas Tech teams that we used to see with the late, great Pirate Mike Leach. And then, but I think North Texas does have a big hill to climb, and they're going to have to be impressive this week to get in, and they'll have to win. And I don't think they can't just.
I think as long as they win, they'll get in.
I think they'll have to win.
I think as long as they win, they'll get in for sure.
And then jump into that, Texas Tech game. It's always harder the second time around, and no matter what teams you're playing, if BYU was dominated. I mean, their offense was stagnated, not able to run Bachmeier, and I think that's the key to stopping them. But if they find a way to run, BYU could upset Texas Tech, and I think that's going to be a big hill to climb. But it can happen because these two teams already played. You know what mistakes you made. And I think that goes to the advantage of BYU, but I don't think it's going to be, that is that going to make that big a difference? We'll see. You'll see. But thanks to Colin, the graphics out there. So
the graphics look great.
Kyle,
before you go, I'll just say this about Texas Tech BYU. I think this is a tough one for Tech because Tech's pretty much into the playoffs. I think they got a good spot, and I'm just scared they're going to come out a little flat, especially playing this team again. BYU is going to be fired up because BYU knows they pretty much have to win this to get in, and there's a chance to get in the playoffs. But personally, I just hope Texas Tech takes care of business, dominates BYU once again because I think they're 100% capable of it. But like you said, it's hard to beat a team twice. But I want Texas Tech to come in, dominate. That way BYU doesn't have a chance of sneaking in the playoffs, even at large. So, but – this is going to be a tough matchup, I think. I think BYU learned a lot from the first time playing them. I think they're going to come out firing. I think this offense is going to play a lot better the second time, but we'll see how Texas Tech kind of responds. Kyle, go ahead. What is your take on this game, man?
Hey, I almost came up to go to this game, really, because I knew you were in Dallas, and I was like, dang, I can get cheaper tickets and come up to it. But not anymore. But I feel like Texas Tech has to defend its home state, Texas, because they're playing in Texas. I feel like we got to defend Texas. But, yeah, Bachmeier is one crazy athlete. He's one heck of a quarterback. That wears number 47 out of all numbers is crazy to think of. It's crazy to think, who picks the number 47? Yeah, but no, me and Garrett were talking about this. But, watching BYU last week, how they struggled in, the very first quarter against UCF. I believe UCF was winning 14-0 when I told Garrett this, and I was like, UCF is winning somehow. But BYU came back, and they corrected a lot of stuff, and they came back and started outscoring them a lot. They won 41-21 against them. But, one player that definitely stands out, me and Garrett definitely talked about this at the Bar and Grill, is number 11 for BYU. Once you get him going, he's one heck of an athlete, wide receiver. His last name's Kingston. He's one heck of an athlete. He's really fast. He is a dog, which Texas Tech shut him down the last time they played him, and he was getting so frustrated That's why it completely shut down that offense. Most likely, is because they couldn't throw it to him much at all. Because Texas Tech was just killing them. But yeah, I feel like once they correct a lot of things going into this game, BYU definitely is coming out. They're coming out to play with all they got. Really, they have to win. Like we were saying, they have to win this game. Really, but that's all I got to say about this. Really, so.
Yeah, the only thing I was just last second thought here was just that first matchup. I think Texas Tech had three or four turnovers, like at least 3 turnovers in the first half, which make a huge difference in the game. You know, Texas Tech was able to create those turnovers, and Texas Tech didn't give away turnovers, and I think that was a huge game changer this first time around. So Texas Tech can cause more turnovers and create more turnover opportunities, then they're going to be just fine. But BYU takes care of the football. This could be a lot different game this time.
Was that the game where we kicked all the dang field goals though, or no?
Yeah.
They started the game. I think it was 3 or 4 field goals.
We did like 5 or 4. It was something crazy.
Yeah,
it was like 12 to nothing at one point, or 9 to nothing, and they finally scored a dang touchdown.
Yep. Yes, sir. All right.
Heck, got to work on their freaking red zone offense.
Yeah, we'll be moving on here. So let's go to
work on that red zone, man. You got to score.
We'll go to the next one
got to
here.
Score touchdowns to beat SEC teams.
Yeah, so we'll get the ticker out of the way, and there's the big game, the games of the week that we'll be picking and all. So we'll get that all in place, and we'll get to talk about our pick'em part of the show, right? So.
Yeah, and make sure y'all see the difference with Friday and then Saturday. So there's 2 different days that these. It's not all on Saturday, or only one team's playing Friday.
But you're telling me there's games
it's
on tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll look forward to tomorrow night. North Texas, baby.
North Texas. What? Yeah. So.
North Texas and Tulane.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in New Orleans? That's basically a home game for Tulane.
Yeah.
That's not even fair. No.
It really isn't, is it? Yeah. So.
It's supposed to be a neutral site. Come on now, American. No.
Oh boy.
All right, you ready?
No, I'm not ready because I'm kind of reeling here because I have to get you guys back into the picks section, and I forgot we had with our show last week. You had a different camera altogether, and that is not going to work for us. So we'll
I'll give
you
y'all.
I mean, we can.
I'm
talk about these games right now.
All right, so the first game we're gonna have on this list is the Friday, December 5th. We got the Conference USA matchup against those 2 teams at 6:00 on CBS Sports Network, really. And then the next game we got after that is the Sun Belt Championship is from between Troy and James Madison at 6 p.m. on ESPN. And the next game after that, we got the American Conference Championship against North Texas and Tulane. They're playing at 7 p.m. on ESPN is crazy. ABC. And then the next game we got after that is
Go ahead.
Yeah. And then the next game after that, we got the Mountain West Conference Championship, really. For them, we got UNLV versus Boise State, which they all have Boise State as the favorite somehow, even though UNLV is favored or has the better record, I feel like. But they're playing at 7 p.m. on Fox.
Is UNLV has the better record, but Boise beat them during the regular season. That's why Boise's favored.
That's something I didn't know.
Boise beat them during the regular season. Yeah, fun fact.
And then jumping into Saturday. Yeah, you go for it, G.
Yeah, so Saturday we got BYU, Texas Tech, 11 o'clock. Start the day all strong on ABC. It's in AT&T Stadium right here in Dallas, which is really cool, but if the tickets
at 11
a.m. expensive. Oh, wait, I have to work. But
you have to work?
Texas Tech, BYU, opening the day Saturday. And then you got the MAC Championship, 11 o'clock on ESPN. Miami, Ohio versus Western Michigan. Miami, Ohio's had a really good year so far this year, so that's exciting stuff for them. And then the big-time SEC matchup on ABC, 3 o'clock. You got Georgia versus Alabama, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. College Game Day, I believe, is going to be there this week, which I wish they're at Ohio
Yep.
State, Indiana. But
They
Georgia,
should have
Alabama,
been.
always a fun game. They already played once this season, and I believe Alabama beat Georgia this year. It was actually a pretty close game, I think. So it should be interesting to see how, considering how well Georgia's played and how Alabama has been a little inconsistent ever since I lost Oklahoma a few weeks back. And then the 7 o'clock game on ABC, you got Duke and Virginia fighting for the ACC championship. Big playoff implications considering Virginia. If Virginia wins, I think Virginia's in the playoffs. But if Duke somehow upsets Virginia, then I don't think Duke's making the playoffs. And then JMU fans will be very happy because I think they can get in if they take care of business with Troy the night before. And then the big game, I'm actually really excited to see how these two teams look against each other. I think both of these teams are going to be locked in the playoffs. So, but I think since they're both locked in the playoffs, they really got nothing to lose. All they are doing is fighting for a championship. So Indiana and Ohio State. It's going to be played at Lucas Oil Stadium, 7 p.m. on Fox Saturday night. So really exciting stuff there. Yeah, and it'll be really interesting because I think that's a true test to see, is this Indiana, is Oregon legit, or and Ohio State the best team in the country like we all think, considering Ohio State hasn't really played the most competitive schedule besides Texas the first week, and then they ended up beating up on teams like Michigan and Penn State. So very big implications there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, exciting day, man. A lot of good games going on. A lot of what ifs could happen. I think after this weekend, I'm looking here and I'm like, man, Tech's got to take care of business. I think if they really want to secure their first round bye and a really good opportunity to make a deep playoff run, and then a team like Georgia, they got a chance to secure their first round bye, and put themselves in a really good spot. Probably get that 2 seed if they get a win, and then. And whoever loses between Indiana and Ohio State, they'll bump up. And then, Virginia Duke, man. I think that's a big one, Kyle. I don't know what you think, but shoot. That could be either Virginia's in the playoffs or they're done.
Yep, there we are.
Garrett looks a little stretched out.
Yeah, I couldn't quite get him the way I had it earlier, so I just had to put that
What's
in
up, the diet are you on?
My face is stretching on this diet, and yours is shrinking, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. You're just condensing down. Your head's like 3 feet smaller than it usually is. No.
Yeah.
It looks fatter.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. Hey, he looks even thinner, right? So there's the records.
Hey, thanks to Kaylee, man. I'm catching up.
Wait. I didn't get to change them. They're not right. I didn't get to change them. So what was the records, Kyle? You have it on the script?
Yeah. Garrett has a 73 and 58. I have a 65 and 66. And then you have a 75 and 56.
Oh wow! So
after Kaylee's picks, man, we're a lot closer than we thought. I'm only
I almost left Dad's picks the same and just made Kaylee an extra record thing.
Yeah, because she didn't do very well, right?
Oh, she picked Michigan. Right? What? Why would you pick Michigan?
Well, I don't know. Why would you?
I don't know what she was talking. I thought she was.
I don't know how I gained
she was
so
joking
much
around.
on you. I know I missed some picks because I believe I picked teams like Auburn and Tennessee. So
right.
Garrett, you went undefeated.
What?
No,
no way.
Yeah. I ain't that good.
Yeah, so
I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes when I type in the numbers, I forget exactly because my dyslexia. I just mess up. I'm like,
well, good that you got it. Yeah,
but you
just a rough estimate. Actually, I've been leading all year. I've been leading all year.
But you just add up from the week before. You're only doing 9 games, so if it equals out to the 9 games that you added, so then it adds up to that. If it's not, it's wrong.
Yeah, well, no, it usually does actually. And then I'll put them up here again, so that way with
that's how you check.
Correct
record. Let's get rolling here. Let's jump into it, man.
There's the correct numbers. So yeah.
Hey, we're catching. We got one more chance, I think. Well, actually, maybe next week.
I'm almost 500.
Loser.
You're right
you
there,
call yourself
man.
An expert. You can't even get 500.
Yeah. So, all right.
Yeah.
So got the records up. All right, so now, um, yeah,
Let's jump in.
yeah, let's go ahead and get our picks in for now, and then we'll put up the big game here in a little bit. So,
Man, this is tough.
Kennesaw State
No,
versus
no,
Jackson
no, no,
State.
no,
Jacksonville State.
no. That is
You know,
Jacksonville
honestly-
State, not Jackson State.
Okay,
Or yeah,
it's
you have the wrong-
Jacksonville
you're
State.
good.
Yeah. Okay. Oh no.
You're
Yeah.
good. You're good.
Anyway.
You're good. You're good, Dad.
All right.
I was like, you have the
Anyways,
wrong
I'm
logo, I think.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Well, I didn't look at it close enough, so the logo.
You're good, Pops.
All right. We'll go with this one.
You're
Fine.
good.
I'm going with Kennesaw State. So I'm going to go with them anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and take that right away. So, what do you
know
got,
what?
guys?
I honestly do not know a whole lot about these teams this year. I know Jacksonville State's had a great season, so has Kennesaw State. But back when I used to throw at McNeese, we used to see Kennesaw State, a lot of their throwers in Birmingham, Alabama, at that indoor complex, and they always had some dogs that were throwing. Man, they were damn good throwers. So I'm taking Kennesaw State just because they got a good throwing squad.
You're going to take them?
Yeah, dude, give me Kennesaw.
Okay. Let me pull them up. All
That was
right.
my celebrity guest pick line.
Yeah, let me get the.
Here.
I used to throw against them, and they were good. So
Hey, G,
Yeah,
I'm
what
over
kind?
looking at the season leaders. It shows their passing yards for Jacksonville State. And their quarterback only has 1,245 yards, all right? Okay, think about that. Rushing yards, the running back has 1,581 yards.
oh, wow,
He has more rushing yards than the quarterback has
they
throwing
do
yards.
passing. Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Unless
Running football
Unless the
team.
starter got hurt, but
Yeah,
he doesn't even
Yeah,
have
but
2,000 yards.
yeah.
Yeah.
Called running the football, baby.
Yeah.
God, I don't know now looking at this. Crenshaw State only has 634 yards on their running back right now.
It's not very high.
God, this is tough.
Yeah. Well, you got to.
I'll make it.
Actually, I'm going with Kennesaw State.
Kennesaw
Their
State.
tackle leader is crazy. He has 120 tackles all season. Defensive player
Hey.
for them.
Not a boy.
There you go. All right.
Oh, the next one's easy, I think.
Yeah,
but
okay. I messed
I'm
up
not
on
gonna
that
say
one.
anything.
So, but Kyle's got that one, and we all picked the same. So,
We all went with Kinshaw.
yeah. So we'll go to
Oh,
our
yeah.
next game.
You want me to talk about the next one? Just jump straight into
Go
it?
ahead, Colin. Jump into it.
Yeah, Troy is a decent team. I like Troy, but James Madison all the way. Give me James Madison.
There you go, James Madison. Yeah.
You know,
Easy pick.
just to cause some chaos in the playoff committee, I would like to see Troy get the upset over here against James Madison. Just because, I don't know. I mean, James Madison's got a dang good team. They've had a good season. I like the Sun Belt Conference. Too bad Tech State couldn't put together a better season this year, but it's
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, I got James Madison winning this one big. So
Oh,
I think
yeah.
they just
They're favored
a
at
complete team in the Sun Belt. Favored
They're
about
favored
23 and a half
crazy.
is crazy. I'm taking the cover. Or I think Troy covers at least. Ain't no way. Not in a championship game, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I got you on this
That's
one.
wild.
So yeah, I'll definitely take James Madison. They've shown all year they're the real deal at least for this level, a non-power 4 conference team. I think James Madison's one of the tops, along with North Texas and those kind of teams that are out there. So that's my pick.
And I know we're trying to hurry up, but I thought Coastal Carolina was going to give them a lot better competition last week against James Madison. But nah, Coastal Carolina got drugged at
Oh
home.
yeah,
James Madison.
yeah.
James Madison's looking real good. They've been
Yeah.
dragging everyone the past
I-
for a while.
I feel like they put up 55 points, 52 points against Coastal. It was something crazy like that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
It was bad.
All right, next
Hey,
one. We
big
got,
time game
Gary,
here,
you got this
man.
one. Nah, you got this.
All green. Ooh.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of green. Honestly, I think Tulane's had a really great season. I think they bounced back. Their big loss they lost to Ole Miss, which Ole Miss is a playoff team, and then they lost to UTSA. But since losing to UTSA, I think they've bounced back. They played really good football this year. But I think North Texas is the best team in the American. I think they got one of the best passing offenses in the country. Give me North Texas, big win, big statement win. Get them in the playoffs. We need at least 3 Texas teams in the playoffs.
That would be nice. Yeah. So, yeah,
Go ahead, Kyle.
I'm Kyle. I'm going to say, and I've been tooting my horn about North Texas all year long. So I've got to go with North Texas, even though Tulane it seems like they've been pushed by the national media to say, oh, this is the team, but not me. I'm sticking with North Texas.
Side note,
the home of
random question. I think both of these head coaches, I know Tulane for sure. I think their Tulane head coach just signed a new coaching job with Florida, if I'm not mistaken. And then I believe North Texas's coach is going to somewhere like Oklahoma State or something. So both these head coaches are leaving. They got bigger job offers. So it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with that in this championship game. But I think both coaches are going to coach this game.
Yeah.
They're going to both coach this football game. If I'm not mistaken, at least last I heard. But go ahead.
So North Texas quarterback might be going to wherever that head coach might be going.
Last I heard was Oklahoma State, but don't fact check me on that. I'm not too 100%.
He'll probably, he'll make more NIL deal probably over there than where he's at.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot more money. Yeah. You'll have to look that up eventually, Kyle. But
all right, so jumping straight in this. Man, Jake's honestly, I like his backstory a lot for Tulane. I like this quarterback. But give me North Texas. Go Mean Green.
Oh,
go Mean Green, baby.
This is the only time you ever hear me say go Mean Green.
Yeah.
I'm not representing Cuero.
Nor Marion, right? All right. So, next in UNLV and Boise State.
Yeah, we talked a little about this earlier when we were talking about the games and whatnot. Boise State beat them in the regular season, even though UNLV's got a lot better record and a lot better team. I thought UNLV was the team that was going to start in the year that was going to have a chance to get in the playoffs. But, yeah, with the 2 losses, that really hurt them. And then Boise didn't have as nearly as good of a season as they did last year. But I'm going to go with the favorite team. Give me Boise. Why not?
Take Boise. All right.
So, 31 once. They can win twice. Yeah. What do you got,
serious?
You take Boise.
Yes.
Dude,
Boise,
who did UNLV play this year? They beat UCLA.
Go ahead, Dad. Make your pick.
I'll make my pick, and that's UNLV all the way. I think UNLV's played some good football, and they're just the team to beat in the Mountain West. So I'm going with UNLV. Kyle, come on now. Hello.
All right, I got UNLV.
Right.
I got UNLV.
You got UNLV.
Yeah,
right. Though, right? They beat Boise beat them in the regular season.
Let's go back.
Yes, and then they lost to New Mexico right after.
So
2 tough losses in a row, but they bounced back since then. So
all right.
They beat UCLA, which UCLA was not bad after they fired their coach.
Well, UCLA started the season really rough. That was one of the big losses that UCLA had, was UNLV. All right, Tech and BYU.
All right,
I'll go ahead. Shoot. Oh, you got it, Kyle? Go for it, man.
Yeah. I feel like Tech's going to come out, really not play for anything. No, I'm joking. Okay, they're going to come out, finally win their Big 12 championship since, God, I don't know when. It's been a long time, though, since Tech has actually won.
They never have a Big 12 championship.
Yes, we already went over this, Garrett. Yes, they do. They have 6.
Yeah, we already went over this. Never a Big 12, but they won a Southeastern and all that, or Southwestern Conference.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
They never won the Big 12. It was actually the Big 12.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge statement. Definitely knocking out BYU. I got Texas Tech winning this game.
You better. You go to Texas Tech, so.
Yeah, I know, for real.
Hey.
I'm not picking the Mormons.
I'm right there with you though, Kyle. We've been rooting for Texas Tech all year. We love Texas Tech. Now that you go there and everything, we got a good reason to root for Tech. So, give me Texas
It's the
Tech,
only
big
reason.
win, their first Big 12 championship.
There you go. There you go.
They,
Well,
they have won a conference championship. They haven't won, I don't think, a specific Big 12 conference championship.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a clean sweep. I'm going with Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech will. I think it'll be a closer game, but hoping that Texas Tech scores more touchdowns, and so that's
Yeah.
what I see. But I see them winning by 10 points. It'd be like a 27-17 game. So
Yeah.
that's
God, the next game is just a toss-up.
Oh, really? What is
Hey, good.
that?
Yes.
Opportunity for Tech to get a little better before the playoffs. So,
Tell me
Western
if you've
Michigan
ever
and
heard.
Miami, Ohio.
Tell me you've ever heard of these teams before,
Yeah.
like for real.
Hey, what
Like,
conference is that, Kyle?
Come
God,
on.
I
You know
don't
what
know.
conference
We just went
championship
over
is
it.
before? The Big
Oh yeah,
East,
the
isn't
MAC,
it, right?
because I have it right here.
Oh,
I
the
have
MAC.
the MAC.
Yeah, the MAC.
Yeah.
What is it? Mountain
Big
Athletic
East.
Conference, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I don't know much about these
give
teams.
me-
I'm not gonna lie.
Go ahead,
But
Kyle.
go ahead, Kyle.
Give me Western Michigan because I think they've had an NFL player come out of there that was decently good. I think.
Yeah, the
God,
Broncos.
I thought it was
They've had
somebody
a
from the Cowboys.
Oh,
I thought somebody from the Cowboys came out of there for wide receiver. I don't know. Maybe.
They've had a few
Might be wrong.
pretty good players from Western Michigan.
yeah, but Western
You mean
Michigan.
Western
yeah.
Michigan?
That's what I said.
But they are the Broncos, Western Michigan. So I'm going to go with them. Miami, Ohio, you see them playing a lot of the big schools, and that's why their record is 7-5. So they're not that bad of a team. But, when they play the big teams, until they play the, Power 4 teams. But Western Michigan is who I had to coming into this. Garrett?
Not so fast. I don't know much about these teams, but I know I like Miami, Ohio a lot better than any dang team from Michigan. So give me Miami, Ohio. I don't like anything about Michigan. I don't even know who Western. I don't even. Yeah, just because it's Western Michigan, I still don't like them.
Yeah. All right. We'll go.
Oh, big game here, Kyle.
Big game coming up here in the SEC. So
Took 'em. Ooh. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Is that your pick already?
Okay, yeah. I don't think anybody's stopping these dogs. I got Georgia Bulldogs winning
Yeah.
this game. I like Alabama. Alabama been rolling until they hit that one point, but I got Georgia.
All right.
Dad, you put the wrong team.
Oh, I thought you had Alabama. My bad.
No, Georgia.
I'm
Yeah,
just
Bulldogs.
Alabama bouncing off that big win last week against Auburn. Yeah. I mean, it was a big win against Auburn. Yeah, we said
Against
it was a scary
Auburn?
place. So, hey, for them to survive that game, that was a big deal for them and their fans. A lot of the Alabama fans would have been rioting for Kalen DeBoer if they would have lost to Auburn. So they got the big win, but I don't think it's enough. Like I said, I think Georgia won't lose to Alabama twice. I think Georgia's rolling. I think Georgia right now is one of the teams to beat. So give me the Bulldogs. Big statement win. I think it'll be a close game though, but I think Georgia's going to win in a close one.
Okay. All right. So what do I pick? So you think Georgia, Garrett?
Yep.
All
Go
right.
Dogs.
Well, it's again another clean sweep because I think Georgia is the team to beat out of the SEC. And if they lose, I guess they lose, but they'll still be in the playoffs and they'll be a tough team. So I'm going with Georgia. I don't think, that it's going to be a rout, but I do think they're going to win pretty handily. So, all right. Get this.
God, slow and steady.
Yep. Here we go. What's the next one? AC.
Duke
We're
and
just waiting.
Virginia.
Yeah, Duke and Virginia coming in.
Hey man,
I can't
think,
believe Duke got it. Now I would be PO'd if I was an ACC fan, like overall ACC fan. That should not be the matchup. I think.
Well, I mean, it's how they do the tiebreakers and everything because there's I think
Yeah, it's wrong.
It's
four or
wrong.
five 4 or 5 ACC teams with 2 losses. Duke's one of them. You know, I think it was between Duke, Pitt, SMU, Georgia Tech, and Miami, which
Miami should
all
have
lost
been,
2
I
games in the
think.
ACC, but that Miami lost 2 really bad games in the ACC against SMU and NC State. So, you know, it's like at the end of the day, it's I think you got to take care of what you do on the field and how how you perform every week. And I think Virginia is the only team that's done that the most consistent. Yeah, I'm going to take Virginia in this. I think Virginia has a lot to play for because they know they have a playoff spot that they're fighting for. Duke is kind of just there to freaking throw chaos to everything. So, but yeah, give me Virginia on the big win.
Gotcha. I kind of was a little premature on my button push.
Oh
So,
yeah, you just helped me
Oh
make my
yeah.
pick. It's all good.
well,
This is a wild like statement to put out there because like Duke is just so inconsistent. I feel like you don't know what Duke team you're gonna get. But out of all the teams they picked Duke to fill the spot. But yeah,
it
well,
wasn't
I got
pick.
Virginia.
Yeah, all the
Yeah, I
picks.
know.
It's all
Okay,
based
but
off metrics and tiebreakers and all that.
Yeah,
I'll take
point
Virginia
differential.
on this. 'Cause
Okay.
You don't know
Gotcha.
what Duke team you're gonna get.
Yeah, I
That's
like
solid.
the way Virginia's been playing, and they're just a 2-loss team overall, and they've played some decent teams. So I'm going to go with Virginia over Duke, and this one's going to be closer than what a lot of people may think. Though it's only going to be about a 6-point game. 2 field goals will win this one for Virginia.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree.
All
Close game.
right, so. Let's see. We
The
got
game
the
of the
big
week.
game coming up. So let me see. I'm gonna put something up here. So let me get myself selling in so we can get the big games all put in here. So let's go with the game of the week, and I'm gonna cut over to that, and I'll be right back. Yeah. So that's the big game of the week, and it's between. Ohio State and Indiana. What a game. And that's our poll question on Facebook. Who's going to win between Ohio State and Indiana? So, and we'll see if anybody chooses one or the other. So we'll get them in there, and then we'll get. How about y'all want to see the stats and talk about the stats a little bit before we go into the picks?
Yeah,
Garrett?
bring it
Yeah,
on.
we'll let Garrett.
Yeah.
We'll let Garrett do it because he's Mr. Big Ten over there. He loves the Big Ten so much, right? Gee, you want to talk about
I do
it,
like
or
the
do you just
Big Ten.
want it?
I do like the reigning national champions. If anyone forgot, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Love me some Buckeyes. But yeah, I know this Indiana team's putting up really good numbers so far. Fernando Mendoza, we talked about him the Heisman every week. Just the same as Julian saying. Julian saying, I think one of his most standout stats by far we always bring up is his completion percentage and how well he's been able to throw the ball to his receivers and get those involved. Sonny Styles and Curry, the defensive end for Ohio State, man. Ohio State's defense has been playing lights out. I will have to say, as an Ohio State fan, I think their competition hasn't been extremely strong this season. A lot of these last games, Ohio State's dominated, but it wasn't against the toughest opponents. But you can say the same thing about Indiana, in my opinion. I think Indiana had Oregon. That was their toughest game. They ended up getting a big win in that game. So, yeah, stat-wise, you see some of their numbers there. Indiana probably doesn't run the ball as much as a team like Ohio State. Ohio State's got Bo Jackson, which is a really cool name. Absolute
I was
dog
about to
back
say,
there.
is that Bo Jackson?
Almost
Is
at
that
$1,000 or almost 1,000 rushing yards. Yeah, and then Ohio State's got the best receiver I think in the country by far, Jeremiah Smith, and then even Cardell Tate's probably top 5 best receiver in the country. I think that man's an absolute standout. But he's with Jeremiah Smith and both of them together, insane combo. But yeah, no, just when it comes to the game itself, I think this is going to be a really big test for Ohio State because they haven't been tested. They played Michigan last week in a close game, but they kind of took care of business. Pretty much were in control of that game the whole time. So it'll be interesting to see how this Ohio State team compares to this Indiana team that's supposed to be really good. But I still have my doubts about Indiana in general just because, my thoughts is like, okay, what if this Indiana team's not nearly as good? What if Oregon's not nearly as good? And Ohio State has a chance to really prove themselves as the most dominant team in the country that we all think they are. So I think this will be a really big test for the Buckeyes. and really big test for Indiana as well if they can actually prove themselves as one of the top teams in the country. Kyle, what are you gonna add to that?
Yeah, man,
Craig
I don't got
Sinetti,
anything
man,
else to say
he's done well.
about that. But what a nice graphic.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
it's pretty
excellent
nice.
graphic
Yeah.
work there, boys.
Yeah, I like that. I like the graphic on the
I like the
impact
little
plays,
players in the
too.
middle, the little things in the middle that shows like the
Yeah.
rushing and all that.
Yeah.
Little images.
So
I will say Indiana has not played a defense as good as Ohio State. I think Ohio State leads the country probably. I think a top. They got to be a top 3 statistic defense in the country for sure. So this Ohio State defense is definitely I think the best in the country. But so it'll be interesting to see how Fernando Mendoza does against that defense.
I think this determines who wins the Heisman right here. I think this is the battle right here.
I think this will have one of the biggest indications on the Heisman race for sure. And then someone like it depends on how they look compared to someone like Jeremiah Love and Diego Pavia. So, all right, y'all ready to make some picks or what?
all right, we're ready to go. Here we go.
Dang, this has been a long episode.
Sorry. Yeah, but I told you with the playoffs, it's always a lot of fun.
We sit there and talk about it for 20 minutes.
Oh, I'm going to go first only because of the fact
go
that I've told you the whole show that I think Indiana's good. I mean, I think they're really good, but I still think Ohio State pretty much dominates this game. If they were going to have a game that they can slip on, this would be it. But I'm sticking with Ohio State.
Okay, I'm gonna go next. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Indiana's playing in Indiana is crazy story right here. Now they're playing in Indiana, and I really like this Indiana team a lot. I like their head coach a lot. It's a great head coach, but Ohio State broke the streak last week, and you got to go with Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? I got Ohio State.
Hell yeah.
I'm not going to pick it. I haven't picked against them all season, except for the first week when they played Texas.
Yep, that was it. Yeah, and Garrett picked Ohio State, didn't he? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, but that's not his number one team, I didn't think, but we'll see.
Man, they're tied. Anyways, we don't pick favorites. We just love them. We just love both Texas and Ohio State.
I like football.
Yeah. Anyways, man, you made me lose my whole train of thought there. I had a whole train of thought.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think this is a big game, obviously, for both these teams. And honestly, I think it means more to Indiana because I think Indiana is still trying to prove themselves as a top-tier team. But the thing I like about Ohio State this year, and like as overall, even in the games where they looked rough, where they played lesser opponents, and you're like, oh man, this Ohio State team doesn't look all that good. They're going to half, and it's like 10-3 or something crazy. But I like how Ohio State has maintained and like pretty much stayed in control of almost every game they've been in so far this year. Even when you go back to the Texas game to start the season, I mean, it was 14-7 to the final, and Texas still had a chance to win. But Ohio State, they really were out of control, or like they didn't lose control of that game. And I think they did the same against Michigan and the same against Penn State and all these other teams. So even though they're not the most pretty wins sometimes, Ohio State finds a way to control the game and get the job done. I think they're going to do it again. I'm really hoping Ohio State blows the doors off Indiana like they did last year when they played them in the regular season. I hope Ohio State, drags them. But, yeah, give me the Buckeyes for sure in this game. And I think they secure their number one spot, and I think they're going to go in the playoffs as by far the favorite to win the national championship because, man, 2 in a row, that would be ideal. Give me the Buckeyes, baby. We're going for 2.
A dynasty.
2 in a row.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Heck yeah.
So,
hey, we beat the Michigan streak. That was a huge win.
Yeah.
They're cheating.
They're cheating.
They just know how to recruit, man. It's a football factory. Hey, what I showed you last week? Ohio State's got the number one fan base in the country. They produce one of the best. They have the highest grossing revenues in athletic sports.
Yeah.
Hey, you're just hating on Notre Dame because they're at number 2.
Yeah, Notre Dame is number 2.
Notre Dame is number 2.
Texas is up there too. They're like 3.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
Notre Dame had like 8 million, and Ohio State had like 11.1 million. I think it was something like that, something crazy.
hey, it's a big fan base, man. A lot of people. Hey, we were in the Brownfields watching the Ohio State Michigan game, and there was still Ohio State fans there
There was
cheering.
fans
So
yelling a lot.
yeah,
Well, I'm
Yeah.
not joking. There was a
go
lot.
Bucks, baby.
Well,
Go Buckeyes.
the reason Ohio State's always good too, guess what? They always have Texas players on their football team, and
True.
that's how far they reach out. But they always have good California, Texas, Louisiana, and Florida players on their team,
Yeah.
and that makes a difference. Along with
Oh,
good,
Yeah, just
Good coaching, good
Yeah,
culture.
good
go for it,
coaching.
Dad.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, just breaking news that CeeDee Lamb won't be returning to the Cowboys game due to a concussion. He just received a concussion. And then shout out to
I thought I
another
saw him
player
on the
from
sideline.
That
from
what?
Seguin High School. The quarterback just committed to Pitt
Yeah,
to go play at Pittsburgh.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Huge
interesting.
news.
Yeah,
That was the game, baby. Hell yeah.
I heard that. So, yeah, that's pretty much our show tonight, right? That's all you guys have. If you have any other had any other thoughts or anything that you have, your
Any
final
other
thoughts.
questions out there?
It's like, no, I don't see any right offhand, so I could be missing.
Everybody's
some.
watching that
Yeah,
America's
Cowboys.
team.
Cowboys
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, and I've got the
It's
poll.
11 points right now in the fourth, so we'll see what
Yeah.
Dallas can do here. They're about to get the ball.
I've got the active.
I'm about to
poll.
go watch the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Oh, the Cowboys are on, man.
Yeah, right. So yeah,
Hey, go Cowboys. There's still a chance.
we'll go
CeeDee
ahead.
Lamb is hurt.
Go
Hey,
ahead.
they're all right. But all right, yeah. Final
Yeah,
thoughts. Another. Hey, it's championship weekend, man. It's going to be a fun weekend. Some big playoff indications ahead of here. Oh yeah, pull up the graphic. That's nice.
Yeah, we just have a blank screen there, so we're good.
Oh yeah, final thoughts. Oh, I can leave you off with something crazy to think of, but God, I really want to. I could just dive into this and talk about it for a minute, but I know you don't want to. But do y'all think Notre Dame would ever sign to a conference or ever go to a conference eventually?
Well, my argument for that always was that Notre Dame, I believe, this is what I heard years back, but Notre Dame, I believe, competes for the ACC championship in almost every other sport except football. They're independent. So I always thought Notre Dame should just join the ACC at this point, or even the Big Ten. But I think it would be more fair when it comes to judging these teams overall and seeing if they have a chance for a conference championship if they were in a conference. But then again, they're also at an advantage because they don't have to ever play an extra week, and they schedule their own matchups against who they feel like, so, and rivalries and stuff like that. So
Hey,
I think I personally think they should join the conference.
no, that's crazy because somebody posted today, is Notre Dame designing their schedule just so they can bypass, like, have almost a great record just to get in the playoffs almost every year. And we're looking at that now, and I'm like, well, you could bring up the 2 losses that they had at the beginning of the season against the good 2 teams that they played, but they weren't blowouts. They were actually close games against A&M and whoever the other game was. It wasn't a blowout.
Miami.
So I understand people talking about those 2 teams that they only played, them 2, but they were close games. They weren't blowout if you actually look at it.
Yeah. I mean, in my personal opinion, I think Notre Dame should join the ACC or the Big Ten. Preferably, probably the ACC because I think they play more ACC teams in general. But I think they got a lot of. In general, I think the college football landscape as a whole, especially when you look at conference-wise, should kind of reevaluate some of the teams in each of the conferences. And personally, I think they should go back to location because I think it makes a lot more sense for teams like Texas to be playing, teams in the South around that area, and then teams in California play teams on the West Coast and not have to travel all the way across the country just to play a Big Ten matchup. But, that's just my opinion. I think there's going to be a lot of changes that has to happen to college football in general.
Yeah.
And and then when you start talking about NIL, there's going to have to be a lot more contracts and, commissioners and stuff like that going.
Dak just scored and made a 2-point conversion.
Oh wow. Okay.
They're still in it.
I think
But all right, let's
In it to
let's
win
go
it.
ahead
wrap things up.
Yep. we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up so we can watch the rest of this Cowboys game. But
Yeah.
Uh,
Finish that one out, right? Yeah. So the game of
Yeah.
the week was Ohio State. It's not Eastern time. It should be Central Standard Time at 7.
it's
on
at
Saturday.
7. Okay.
It's at 7.
Don't look at the ET.
7 for Central Time, yeah.
Yeah. That means don't look at you as an alien, extraterrestrial. All right. So,
Yeah.
all right, man. Well, that'll do it, folks. Thanks for joining us tonight as we had Garrett, Kyle, and myself, Hank Dietert, and we're Triple D, and we like giving some of these hot takes. And so stay tuned for the upcoming next broadcast. Should be next week. We'll talk about the playoff picture again and probably talk about the bowl games that are coming up. And we'll go over some of those as we go week by week because there'll be plenty of bowl games to talk about. So,
And maybe
we
the
definitely gotta talk
Army-Navy
about
game
the
we
playoff
could do.
scenario.
yeah, we'll talk about the
We could do
Army
like a
Navy
20-minute
game.
Army and Navy game we could talk about.
Yeah, it'll take
Well,
only that long
we'll
to
talk
play
about
the
Army,
game.
Navy, and then we can talk about the playoff scenarios and everything.
Yeah, and the bowl games. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
And the final Heisman bid and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do it. And we ran a little over time, but hey, we like talking. So God bless everyone out there. And thank you for joining us here on Triple D Hot Takes. So, and stay tuned, and we'll be back next week. So God bless and adios and mascut. So there you go.